Over the past 2 years, I've interviewed different expats from all around Thailand, those that have lived here for a short period, many that have lived here for over 10, 20 years. But today, as I was walking around Khorat, it got me to thinking what actually makes it work for some foreigners and where do many actually fall short and are just not able to make it work here in Thailand. Many people do come to live here without doing enough research first. For some people, Thailand isn't supposed to work. It's not the right place for everybody, but there are for sure some very key things that people trip up on all the time, and you can see it again and again in the work that I do and in the stories that I receive on the channel in the comments. Let's give a quick rundown now as we walk around Khorat.
Hello Thailand!
Thailand. So number one is they keep expectations realistic. No place can give you contentment and happiness long term. It can give you temporary thrills, unique insights and good moments, of course, but the place can't make you happy. It is our inner world that finds contentment and happiness. A place can help facilitate that, I have to say, like the Buddhist way of life here, the positive aspects of the culture. I think it's probably easier to be at peace with yourself in Thailand in comparison to some more dangerous areas of the world. But a lot of the people that I talk to and a lot of the people that are subscribed to this channel and live in Thailand, their expectations are not so high. They don't expect Thailand to save them from their life or to enhance it to any kind of level that would be beyond anywhere else in the world. They accept that the visa situation can be a little bit tedious sometimes and that their opportunities for work can be quite limited here. They have a sound grasp before they come of what to expect and then perhaps set their expectations a little bit lower than that as not to be disappointed. It's important to remember that the country doesn't owe us jack shit. Indeed, Thailand is one of the most welcoming and friendly countries, like many of its neighbours in Southeast Asia. If you were to compare it to many other countries in the world, I think you'd find it ranks quite high in being welcoming and open, but that doesn't mean they owe us that. They owe us a better life here or owe us anything at all, to be honest. They technically don't even owe us a smile. I know I'm greeted here in Khorat with many more smiles than I possibly would be in Manchester, or if a Thai person was to travel to Manchester. And so I keep that in mind. Even after 16 years, my expectations are quite low, and that way I'm never disappointed. Next, something that many successful expats do is they integrate with the locals. Does that mean that they sit around all day drinking rice whiskey with their neighbours and going to all the ceremonies and funerals and different events that happen in their village or city? Not necessarily. It also doesn't mean that they prescribe to their ideas or thoughts or religion or anything like that. But what it does mean, in my opinion, is that they have a positive attitude towards Thai people. They go into the 7-Eleven and smile. They don't throw their money at them. They don't bark orders at them. They don't treat Thai people like they're lower than them. They don't believe that Thai people work for them or subservient to them or sometimes inferior to them because they come from the West. They generally treat people like human beings. They're on the level with them. There's no superiority complex. And in that way, they slowly become a part of the community, whether they like it or not. The girl at the cashier comes to remember how you like your coffee. The lady at the somtam stall knows how spicy to make your somtam. The people in the village start to know who you are. They remember you, and you become part of a small community. They know where your home is. Some people take it to another level, of course. This is kind of one level where you mingle with people and you chat with people and you're generally friendly with people and you understand it's their country. On another level, some people really get in there and they learn the language as well. I found that knowing the language is very important to relationships here, but I wouldn't say that I'm massively involved in all community affairs. I tend to keep some privacy. That's my own nature. It's quite introvert nature, and so I don't always want to know everybody and know everybody's business or have close friends, but I'm generally pleasant and I contribute towards the community. These are all different levels of integration. It's up to you how far you want to do it. Got a good one for you today. If you are planning to send money into Thailand, you can now get a nice juicy bonus by using my code. Many of you are already living here in Thailand or you're planning to come and live here at some point. One of the biggest practical things is getting your money back here reliably, and that's where Tap Tap Send comes in. Tap Tap Send lets you send money from the UK, the USA, Australia, Europe and Canada straight into a Thai bank account quick and reliably. There are no transfer fees, rates are competitive, and usually your transfer will complete within minutes. So whether you're just topping up your living costs here, paying for something locally, or sending money to family in Thailand, it just works. So if you'd like to try it out for yourself, simply download TapTapSend from the App Store or Google Play and use my code word to get yourself a bonus. Those links are below for you in the pinned comment and the description, and do let me know how you get on. So here's the one that everybody expected. It's the honey trap. It's falling in love and spending all your money building somebody a house in Isan, not doing the proper documentation to tie up land, falling in love with the wrong person, maybe meeting in the wrong place. And because this is a YouTube trope that is brought up again and again, I would prefer to take a bit of a different angle on it this time, and also consider that some people that fall in love here are just not stupid. Maybe they are emotionally vulnerable. Maybe they came here trusting people, you know, and just expected that if they behave correctly in the world, other people would behave correctly in the world, and that there was some honor and trust between people. Maybe they already had in mind that they could lose everything, had already seen all the videos of people that lost everything, but they decided to trust anyway. They wanted to have some faith in humanity, and they got stung and they lost everything and they had to leave, of course. There is a more nuanced and sophisticated view of that situation here in Thailand. It's not all simply, oh, this person is an idiot. In that case, everybody that got divorced in the West and lost half, if not all of their wealth would be an idiot too. It's that sometimes things don't work out and then assets are lost and divided. Some bring it upon themselves by drinking too much and being too angry and crazy, and their Thai wife just has enough of them. Maybe they got manipulated by somebody that is very intelligent. Never discount Thai women are some of the most intelligent women in the world. They're able to convince you of all kinds of things. And does that mean that person's an idiot? Maybe not. Maybe they just trusted. Some are idiots, of course. You can factor that in, but you also have to account for all of the nuances and complexities of human behavior, life, love, and relationships that are actually global and not particular to Thailand. They're human relations. And so that is another reason why it doesn't work out for some. Another point when it comes to relationships, many long-term expats have found somebody that they can trust and that they do trust, and they build a quality life here together, usually working as a team in their endeavors. And there are many, many Thai women out there that you can trust. Thai women are no different to any other women around the world. There's ones you can trust, ones you can't. Same with men. Some you can trust, some you can't. And so the lucky ones have ended up in successful long-term relationships that have stood the test of time. So as on this channel, I don't always want to state the bloody obvious. Another one is that many expats that make it work here in Thailand have a good degree of neuroplasticity. They're quite flexible and they can change certain aspects of their personality and attitude, something that could come in quite useful when adapting to a new country and a new set of customs. Many come to find that when they first moved here, they were very driven by time and schedule and things being on time, things being exactly correct. They were also prone to some anger or irritation when things weren't as expected. Many of them became more flexible and started to adopt the attitude of Mai Pan Rai and the more kind of laid-back attitude of Thais. They come to live more in the present moment, which is quite close to the Buddhist attitude, and that served them well by staying here. They were adaptable. They didn't force Thailand to change for them. They came to change a little bit for Thailand. And in that they transformed, and I think in many cases for the better. Another common occurrence that I saw as well with many of the expats that I talked to is that they managed health proactively. They had a good health insurance perhaps, but more than this, they started to limit their drinking, not going out as much. Maybe some of them quit smoking as well. From what they've told me, many of the retirees that come to Thailand only actually started living in the mid to late 50s, some even in the 60s, because they were working all the time maybe before and they finally got to retire here and now they feel free. So they want to live longer. They don't want to die at 70. They're gunning for 90, 95, still being fit and healthy and being able to enjoy Thailand and this part of their life. And so developing that proactive viewpoint towards health is what sustains them and makes them kind of live out longer here, rather than getting sick and having to leave early or getting into some addiction and then having to not being able to balance your life and your priorities and having to leave early. That's where a lot get caught short, and a lot of the reasons why they don't last here in Thailand. And now from a financial standpoint, I've seen that many successful expats manage to keep their overheads quite low, i.e. they get to the point where they're not going out partying every single night. They're a little bit more choosy of which hotels that they stay in. Maybe they won't drop 3,000, 4,000 baht a night in a hotel and choose something maybe more around the 500 to 800 mark. They have a long-term view of their life. They realize that you have to have a buffer. In Thailand, it's quite difficult to work and earn money here, so they are quite financially prudent, many of them, and they are able to manage money quite well. And that well could be a marker of long-term success here in Thailand. Along the same lines of thinking, many successful expats here in Thailand, they develop multiple income streams. So some are just like pensions, some are properties that they rent out abroad, others have small little business operations, especially those with Thai wives. They develop these income streams because they don't want to get caught short financially, but there is another aspect to that as well, is they keep themselves busy. If you sit around on your arse all day in Thailand, it can get very, very boring. A lot of successful long-term expats that have lasted 20 years, 30 years onwards, they've kept busy with projects. Those projects often involve small businesses. They keep themselves busy day to day, which can be financially beneficial, but it's also good for the mind. If you get bored, you're going to say, F this, why do I go through all of this visa hassle? I'm outside of my own culture. I may be taking risks with the location I live, with my health. I'm getting older. There's no one to take care of me. This helps mitigate those thoughts and ends up being a reason why they stay instead of leaving. Now, I cannot stress this enough, and that's why I'm putting it in here again. It doesn't have to work out in Thailand. One of the main reasons it doesn't work out for people in Thailand is that it isn't supposed to work out for them. It was something that maybe they tried, they didn't like it for all the reasons that I've been into in other vlogs. It isn't for everybody. It isn't what a lot of YouTubers sell it to be. It isn't a cheap panacea, in my opinion, anymore. It can be if you're very, very prudent and you're very, very good at budgeting, but those days, I believe, are over. And now to wrap this vlog up, another couple of nuanced factors are that they stay curious about the culture. They stay curious about life. This isn't just necessarily expats that are living in Thailand, but what I found with older, wiser people, and being older doesn't automatically make you wiser. I've certainly learned that. But the older, wiser ones, they do stay curious in life and they're always learning. They don't know everything about everything, and they're very open-minded to keep learning. And I guess that's a part of living here as well, staying curious, staying open-minded. Also, many will build support networks. That is to say that they have family or their wife or certain friends around them that they can chat with. What I've seen in a lot of these provinces here, in these like more rural provinces, Karat's a big city by the way, but what you do see is there are certain groups that meet up for coffee on a certain day of the week in the mornings, and they get together and have a chat. Maybe they go to a bar once a week. I've got a few friends that are in the north, they have a pizza night and whatnot. So they build a small support network, not just like a lone wolf. I think I lived as a lone wolf for a long time here, and I don't know if I was as happy as I am now having my little network, albeit a lot of my network is through friends online. And every now and again I'll come to certain places where I know certain people live, and I'll catch up with them and check in with them. So these are another two factors that I think help expats stay the course and stay long. I think if you've got no support network, no friends, unless you're a particularly introverted person and you love the solitude, you don't talk to anybody at all, which there are people like that. I go through phases of that in my life. Then you won't do very well. I think it's good to have a support network. Particularly mine is family as well. Having kids here is one of the big reasons that I stay. My family are here. It's not just about Thailand. It is my way of life that keeps me here, what I do on a day-to-day basis. The fact that I'm comfortable, I learned the language, these things, and I'm happy. So if I wasn't happy, I probably wouldn't stay. So they're my personal reasons for being here. And this isn't also to say that people that don't make it have somehow failed. They may have got onto better things, a happier way of life in another country that suits them better. I have a lot of subscribers that have moved from Thailand to Vietnam now, some have moved over to Cambodia. In the comments, they'll say things like, oh, I'm a traitor, I've gone over to Vietnam. And I said, not at all. If you're happy there, there's no loyalties to Thailand. If it don't work for you, it doesn't work for you. If you prefer and you're happier to be in Vietnam and Cambodia, like, great. And you don't need to leave and trash Thailand. You can just say it wasn't for me. I think that's kind of the best way. You don't need to hold any resentment towards the place and your experience here. And so that has been my rundown for the day. Please let me know anything that I might have missed or some of the considerations in the comments. And I hope you've enjoyed today's vlog.